Part 1. In the Genes. The young do not know enough to be prudent, and therefore they attempt the impossible, and achieve it, generation after generation. Pearl S. Buck. Chapter 1. Walter Smiles, my great-grandfather, had a very clear dream for his life. As he breathed in the fresh, salty air of the northern Irish coast that he loved so dearly, he gazed out over the remote Copeland Islands of County Down. He vowed to himself that it would be here, at Portivo Point, on this wild, wind-swept cove, that one day he would return to live. He dreamt of making his fortune, marrying his true love, and building a house for his bride here, on this small cove overlooking this dramatic Irish coastline. It was a dream that would shape, and ultimately end, his life. Walter came from a strong line of self-motivated, determined folk. Not grand, not high society, but no-nonsense, family-minded go-getters. His grandfather had been Samuel Smiles, who, in 1859, authored the original motivational book titled Self-Help. It was a landmark work and an instant bestseller, even outselling Charles Darwin's The Origin of Species when it was first launched. Samuel's book, Self-Help, also made plain the mantra that hard work and perseverance were the keys to personal progress. At a time in Victorian society where, as an Englishman, the world was your oyster if you had the get up and go to make things happen, his book, Self-Help, struck a chord. It became the ultimate Victorian how-to guide, empowering the everyday person to reach for the sky. And, at its heart, it said that nobility is not a birthright, but is defined by our actions. It laid bare the simple but unspoken secrets for living a meaningful, fulfilling life. And it defined a gentleman in terms of character, not blood type. Riches and rank have no necessary connection with genuine gentlemanly qualities. The poor man with a rich spirit is, in all ways, superior to the rich man with a poor spirit. To borrow St. Paul's words, the former is as having nothing, yet possessing all things, while the other, though possessing all things, has nothing. Only the poor in spirit are really poor. He who has lost all, but retains his courage, cheerfulness, hope, virtue, and self-respect, is still rich. These were revolutionary words to Victorian, aristocratic, class-ridden England. To drive the point home, and no doubt prick a few hereditary aristocratic egos along the way, Samuel made the point again that being a gentleman is something that has to be earned. There is no free pass to greatness. Samuel Smiles ends his book with the following moving story of the gentleman general. The gentleman is characterized by his sacrifice of self and preference of others in the little daily occurrences of life. We may cite the anecdote of the gallant Sir Ralph Abercrombie, of whom it is related that, when mortally wounded in the Battle of Abu Qir, and, to ease his pain, a soldier's blanket was placed under his head, from which he experienced considerable relief. He asked what it was. "It's only a soldier's blanket," was the reply. "Whose blanket is it?" said he, half lifting himself up. "Only one of the men's." "I wish to know the name of the man whose blanket this is." "It is Duncan Roy's, of the 42nd, Sir Ralph." "Then see that Duncan Roy gets his blanket this very night." Even to ease his dying agony, the general would not deprive the private soldier of his blanket for one night. As Samuel wrote, true courage and gentleness go hand in hand. It was in this family, belief system, and heritage that Walter, my great-grandfather, grew up and dared to dream.